is good, family? Pastor Mike here. Thanks so much for joining us at The Link Online. Man, I'm excited about this one tonight. So tonight, we are starting a brand new series titled The HAVES and the Have-Nots. And we're going to jump right into this message tonight. But first, let's do this. Let's play a quick games of the haves and the have-nots. So if you have ever done this, you've ever experienced this, I want you to go ahead and throw a thumbs up in the chat. If it doesn't apply, I want you to put a thumbs down in the chat. And I want us to just kind of get to know each other a little bit. So I'm going to do a couple of these quick ones here. And so the first one is this. I have a hidden talent. If you have a hidden talent, I want you to go ahead and put a thumbs up in the chat. If you have no hidden talents, put it down. So like me, I'm not that talented, so I would probably say thumbs down to this one. Here's another one. I have a bad habit. That's a thumbs up for me. I notice I have 2 thumbs up. Yeah, probably have a few of them that I'd rather not discuss in detail. But go ahead, throw yours in there. Thumbs up if you do, thumbs down if you don't. Here's another one. I have never seen a Marvel movie. So if you've never seen a Marvel movie, I want you to put your thumbs up. If you have seen Marvel movies, go ahead and put your thumbs down. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't know the difference if it was a Marvel or like a DC comic or whatever they are. So maybe you guys can educate me. I have no idea. I've gotten a really bad haircut. Have you ever gotten a really bad haircut? That is an absolute yes for me. There was one time that I was in like 7th grade, and I'm actually not going to share this story because I am traumatized already thinking about it once again. So thumbs up, thumbs down. Have you ever had a bad haircut? All right, here's a good one. Have you ever fallen in public? I have fallen in public before. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I have or I have not. And then finally, we'll go with this. I have never compared myself to others. And I know the chat just got real quiet there. I have never compared myself to others. And so I can't say that to be true in my life. I pray it's not true in your life, but chances are we've all compared ourselves. We've all been in that place of either the haves or the have-nots here. And so if we're honest, we all do compare ourselves to others at times. And so it's so easy to compare. Have you ever been like at school, when you used to be at school, and you're like walking down the hall and somebody has these nice pair of shoes on? Or have you, went to a friend's house and their house was awesome. They had like a movie theater and all that crazy stuff. I don't know if your friend's got a movie theater in their house. Let us know. We'll contact them and have a movie night. But either, have you ever been to their house and I wish my house was like this? Have you ever compared yours to theirs? And so there's nothing wrong with dreaming about our future and planning for our future and wanting good things and wanting to have nice shoes and things of that nature. But when we find ourselves comparing where we are or what we have to maybe others, it says less about them. It says more about who we think we should be. And when we're comparing ourselves, it's easy to not have a fair look at who God has created you to be. So that's what this whole this whole next 3 weeks is going to be about. It's all going to be about the haves and the have-nots. And we're going to start tonight with something that everybody has, and that is a past. So everybody has a past. And so maybe your past doesn't look like my past, or your friend's past doesn't look like your past, but everybody has a past, right? So we're going to look at this story, whether your past is painful or messy, whether your past is just average old thing. We're going to look at this story of a man's life in the Bible named Moses. So Moses definitely had a past. And so Moses' story, I'm going to give you a brief snapshot of what that was like. You can find it in Exodus chapter 1 and 2, and just read through Exodus right there. You can see the story in the life of Moses. And so so Moses, as a baby, he was, when he was born, there was a Pharaoh who was fearful of Hebrews, who Moses was, of rising up and overthrowing and taking over, this Pharaoh's kind of reign and rule. And so Moses' mom was like, you can't have my baby. Ain't gonna happen, and puts him in this basket and floats him down the river. So God's providence and fate would have it that, that Moses is pulled and rescued out of the river by his sister. So Moses is then, he begins to be raised in this house of Pharaoh as an Egyptian. He's a Hebrew, but he's raised as an Egyptian. And so that's kind of confusing. And so maybe some of you have kind of dealt with some confusion in regard to that. But anyway, so he's raised. He actually, Bible kind of shows us that he had a speech impediment where he couldn't properly enunciate his words. He couldn't properly get out what he wanted to communicate. And so you see this. He's raised in this house as an Egyptian, but he's Hebrew. And then he begins to, as he gets older, he begins to see the oppression of his people. He begins to see the injustice that's happening to his fellow Hebrew brothers. And so one day he's out and he sees, he sees one of his brothers just getting beat on and not treated right, and just injustice happening to him. And so what does Moses do? Moses lashes out in anger and kills the man who was harming his brother. And so after that, Moses, he has to flee and run from the consequences basically of that. And then you go on and you jump into the chapter and you see God, you jump on his life, and then you end up seeing God showing up and speaking to Moses in a miraculous way and saying, no, I know you have a past. I know you messed up. I know you lashed out in anger. I know you were confused growing up. I know you have a speech impediment. You have all of these things in your past. But more importantly, I have a future for you to walk in. So that's what we begin to see. We begin to see the life of Moses, how his past didn't shape his future. And now our past has every one of us has a past, right? Our past has a great way of making us kind of who we are, and the way that we process things and the way they handle things. But our past does not have to define our future. We all have a past. And so really exciting stuff. In Psalms 139, verses 13 through 16, you see God saying that for I knit you in your mother's womb, for you are I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And so you see, man, God was there in the past. And maybe you're like, okay, what does this have to do with me? What does that have to do with Moses, God talking about knitting King David in his mother's womb and all this stuff? What does that have to do with me? Great, I'm glad you asked. What that has to do with you is whether you have lashed out in anger, whether you were raised in a house that wasn't with your family, whether you were confused growing up, whether you have a past that is less than ideal or less than godly or exemplary, or maybe you're just an ordinary person. Maybe you don't have any crazy story. Maybe you don't have anything like that going on in your life. Maybe it's just your past. Whatever that is, man, God wants to use it. So it was the anger that Moses lashed out for this Egyptian and killed him. It was that same thing in his heart from his past that would say, no, this is not right. What I'm seeing is not right. God would use that in God's way to fulfill the plan of God. And so that's what we're talking about these next few weeks is fulfilling the plan of God. We all have things. There are all things that we have, and there are all things that we have not. And can I tell you this? You have a past, and you also have a future. You will not be cut off from God's plans moving forward. So, man, we're going to talk way more about this in detail as we go into small groups. But just know, man, no matter where you're coming from, no matter what you've walked through, God still has a plan for you. I love you guys so much. Enjoy your discussions in small group. We will talk soon. Peace.